Hey kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome. Another day of coding. Wasn't coding yesterday. My wife was not feeling well, and so I was spending the day with her, making sure she was comfortable. She had an infection and pain, and was dealing with that. She's feeling better today, so that's kind of what was going on yesterday. Let's see. Let's go into. Jump down over here. Let's get some music going. This is the spec we had kind of worked out for show 2 days ago. We created a flexible engine to allow us to modify the values of properties by name with something we're calling a property mod that would have some sort of unique ID, and we'd be able to find it later if we needed to remove the mod. We got it working, and as I recall, our test for getting it working was we were stepping through the code and verified that it was working through the code. So I want to check in before we start. I want to check in the files, the changes from last time, and that'll help us kind of get up to speed too in terms of what changes we had made. Here in the main XAML file, we had just created an additional target creature for our testing purposes. Nothing big there. We had turned walking speed, base walking speed. We created a property called walking speed, which you can see part of right here. It used to call base walking speed plus git mods. Git mods was an old modification architecture that we had. And that's still valid. That architecture is from other kinds of mods, not mods from spells. So I decided to keep it, and I incorporated that into this new calculate property function, which we just pass in the base value, and then it figures out all the mods on top of it. That's the code we wrote 2 days ago, Wednesday. I also added a setter. Somewhat controversial setter, because what it does is it calculates the base walking Codebase Alpha, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. Just telling everybody what we had done last time, just kind of going through those changes. Shake that funky stuff. Funky stuff has been shook. The funky stuff is shook. And so we got, I was just talking about this setter here, a little controversial in that if I set the walking speed to like 30, but I've got mods that say it's plus 20, then I'm going to set my base walking speed really to 10 because those other mods are in existence. So we're rarely ever going to call this, but I decided that if I ever do manually set this, the thing I want to change is the base walking speed. That's how I want to do it. So that's what the property looks like. We only created one of these. We only created one of these properties here for walking speed, and for any property we want to support, we're going to have to turn it into this format. So it's going to look like this. It's going to say return, calculate property. It's going to pass in some base variable. And then over here, it's going to assign that base variable to this piece. It almost makes sense to make a CodeRush template for it to make this very easy to create these, which I probably will do depending on when we actually start creating those properties. I started writing this code, but nothing's happening here yet. But the idea is I wanted to create a tooltip to return an explanation of the mods. For example, you've got a -10 due to Ray of Frost. Expires at the end of Merkin's next turn, something like that. So that if we wanted to ask a question about the value of a particular property by hovering the mouse over the property, for example, why is this a 50 or why is this a 20, we would see a tooltip to explain that it's been modified. I want to similarly create an all-purpose general function that says, is property modded or has mod or something like that, that'll return true or false if there's a mod. And so what we can do is then syntax highlight modified properties so that it would then encourage us to hover the mouse over and then see the explanation. That's all. Those are the only changes in creature. Not too bad. The smartest thing we did was this piece right here, though. This part is pretty smart because and inside calculate property as well, which is, I guess, down here. Calculate property here. We allow for min and max values. We're going to clamp that value in. We're going to get the property mod offset passing in the key. That get property mod offset piece is right here. We're going into the property mod, see if it contains the key. If it does, then I go into that dictionary right there. There's the dictionary. Hold on, let's undo that. Hold on, the control key to select that, just in case Early Deb is out there watching. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go into that dictionary, and guess what? That's a dictionary of dictionaries. That's what's happening here. It's a dictionary of dictionaries keyed by unique ID. So then we're going to go into that, and we're going to grab, in this case, all the multipliers, and we just multiply them by each other. But then we also have offsets, which are more frequently used in Dungeons & Dragons rules, and those we're going to plus equals those offsets. So that's what we figured out. We figured out this logic. The logic appears to be correct. Felt right at the time. Rory was with us, so we had the benefits of pair programming there. We also have these two general purpose functions here to add a property mod and to remove a property mod as well. So we could give it a property name and an ID. That'll allow us to remove it. And up here we can give it a property mod, an ID, and let me zoom out a minute. Get it over here. An offset and an optional multiplier. I say optional, but I guess this is not an optional one, but it's got to be one if we're not going to multiply by anything. And then that just creates the new property mod, and that just takes care of fulfilling this part of the spec here, where it creates a new entry in this dictionary that's owned by this dictionary. Okay, that's the bulk of the intelligent work we did last Wednesday. I'm passing the spell name here in Give Magic. I wanted to do this to create a unique ID. I want to look at Give Magic. That is that in creature? Did I miss that? Or is it in player? Maybe it's in player. Or character, rather. I don't see Get Magic. One of the pieces I'm expecting Give Magic to be. Where did I Give Magic? I'm expecting it to be in here. Oh, this might be it right here. Let's go look at that. Go to creature. Nope, that's not the one I wanted.
Copper Beardy is in the house.
Copper Beardy, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Oh, Surly Dev's out there. Okay, Give Magic is here. And I passed the spell name. Really? This is early. So much pudding. So tasty. Yummy. That's good pudding. Oh, he did. But not anymore. Passing the spell name, passing that into magic. Spell name, using that, what's going on here? Assigning it to spell name. Okay. And then we use that to figure out the modification ID. So we come up with a unique ID for this particular mod. So any mod added by magic will have the caster's name, followed by the spell's name, followed by the magic item's name. Okay, it's not too bad. But I'm leaning towards changing this. Let's put this as a to-do. So we can hook the spells on Dispel event. So we can clear up this magic. Can remove this magic when the spell is dispelled. That would be good, right? So I say leaning, I'm strongly leaning towards it. I'm just not doing it now because we're kind of talking about all of this. Do I have a to-do over here? Yeah, I've got something along this lines here too. Yeah, if the invoker of the magic is a spell requiring concentration, expire the magic. If the spell expires, the concentration is interrupted. If both of those, either of those things happen, the spell's on Dispel event should be fired. So we really need to hook it so we can get rid of ourselves. That's what we need to do. Okay, so that's in our to-do list here. What else do we want to look at here when we are, let's do this. Added, property, or created, maybe built. The property, mod, architecture. Typing this in right behind Fred right here. Sorry about that, Fred. Let's move it over there so you can see what I'm typing in. There it is right there. What else did I miss? Anything else? We just kind of looked at that code. Character sheets. I got rid of the reference to the property and I'm instead working straight with walking speed. So that's also a change we would probably have to do with any properties, other properties we change. Fanfare, stop taking deep water away. I don't know what's happening here. It could be that I keep discarding this line after I've started the app, and so it's removing it. I think that's what I'm fighting against. Take that away from there. Add property mod. So add property mod, that's coming from, let's bring up the spreadsheet. Magic. It's coming from it's coming from, well, it's kind of coming from this sheet. In our on received, we have this on property mod. Right there. That's what we've got on received. So we're going to call add property mod. So we created that new function to add the property mod. Remove property mod is also similarly there. Creature plus mod ID. That was in lieu of using a tuple for that. So basically the property mod architecture first attempt, first pass, something like that. Works, but needs thorough testing and additional, I'll say additional features, functionality. All right, let's go ahead and stage all of that. Commit it. Okay. I think the first thing I want to do is I want to generalize this right here. I feel like reduce speed 1 turn is way too specific. And I want to change this up. That's what I want to do. Reduce speed 1 turn, by the way, that is used. Here. We call give magic here on the caster. And what I want to do is I want to change this up to something like this. I'm gonna comment that out so we can't keep it, but I'm gonna change this to give magic, change property, is going to be the name of it. You know what's interesting is this is not in quotes right here, and I feel like that should be in quotes, but it did work. Let's see, do we have anything actually out there? We don't have anything called that or with that in its name. I still feel like this should be because it's a parameter. How are we? What's going on with give magic right now? Let's go look at give magic and see what we're doing with those parameters. Nope, not the one I wanted. Don't have, I'm looking for give magic function. All right, well, let's see who's calling this. Oh, it's there as a function, but it just doesn't have the word function at the end of it. I see. Let me rename this one. Just add the word function at the end so it's similar to the other pieces. Okay, so there's give magic. What does it do? I see. It's just grabbing that arg right there. So the expression engine says, here's what we're passing in, and then I have the opportunity to treat this however I want to. So I can call it change property if I want to like this, or I can put it in quotes. But it's this second parameter here, where if it's in quotes, I need to remove those quotes. So I may keep it like that. So now what I want to do is called change property, and then I want to pass in walking speed, -10. That's what I think I want to change it to. That's what I want to do. And then, so now I want to come over here and define this as change property, property name, comma, amount. That's how I want to declare this. And this is now going to say reduces, the description is reduces the recipient's specified property by the specified amount. Might as well say for the specified duration. So now I'm going to take that out of here and I'm going to put that over here. The cool thing about this, I think it's like we're starting to see, is now I have the ability, I have this really flexible give magic call with the ability to just pass whatever parameters I want to it. And then it then takes those parameters, passes them over to magic. And then magic then, well, we need to do one more thing over here. Duration. Then magic injects those parameters into these variables, replacing those variables where you see them in here. So we're going to call add walking speed. So this is going to be changed to property name. The only thing I need to worry about is the duration here on this. And by the amount's got to be positive. Value says negative. move this out to the end here. Description over there. Okay, so change property. Now, duration I need to worry about. We are Rory-less today, Pudding. That's right. He's amazing, isn't he? I keep thinking it's Thursday. Yeah, my bad. I didn't show up yesterday. Karen was not feeling well, and I spent the day making sure she was comfortable. She's feeling a little bit better today. She's got an infection in her gut, but she's on antibiotics and is feeling better. Amazing, isn't it? Only one thing left to do, I guess. Sorry, you caught me dancing. I was trying to do a show there, and you caught me dancing. All right, the only thing I haven't figured out yet is how do I get duration into here? I could just I could just use this and kind of hard code that and pop it in there. And I think I can make that work. So we're going to choose add property mod, property name, amount. The duration we'll have to figure out inside of the call to change property. Remove property mod. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here to remove it. I think we're going to automatically handle that because of duration. Is that right? Yeah. Well, hold on. On received, I think it's maybe just remove property mod like that. That's what I think that code looks like. We'll hopefully make that work. I got this here. Nothing's happening with this yet. And we've got these other events that we may or may not need. Okay, so that's what I think that those changes are there. Change property. Coding Gorilla. Guess I'm not lurking today. Who said that? Who said that in the chat room? Whose is that? Oh my gosh, look at this. Double. Let's stop that. I know what to do to fix that. Give me a second here. That's the one I want to remove right there. Delete that. Boom. Good. Cody Gorilla. Great icon. I love it. Okay, so let's see if that works. We just made a lot of changes, but the cool thing is that we've made it way more general. This can now be used all over the place for all kinds of property mods instead of just having a dedicated, reduced speed mod change. So that's what we're going to go for. See if we can get that to work. Let's try that first. I'm not sure what code changes we need. Let's close this down. Give magic. Let's at least stay here. Let's run it. Let's just see what happens. We'll step through here. I switched away for a moment to something without any overlays, but the overlays look like they're still running. Let's see if Fred can wave. Can you point to me, Fred? Nope, we did lose him. Let's refresh all of those overlays. That means we may have also lost control from the chat room as well. So, 3D dice. Front overlay. Dragon back game. Here's those. Let's see, do we have control? Let me try changing to different Oh, yeah, it looks like maybe we do have control. Let's do one more test over here. Make sure we can do like a...
Dude,
Yep, there we go.
check out the chat room.
Okay, so it looks like we still have control. Let's initialize player data. There we go. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, so we're going to try Ray of Frost. And we've got the Give Magic call over here on cast. Let's see what happens when we fire that event. Okay, so we're here. Let me send a test close out into the chat room. Like that. You can see the code. And okay, so our first breakpoint, this is from 2 days ago. Request selected target. We're just going to create some targets in here. And these are just, we're creating monsters here. We're giving them names, Rory and Mark, but they're, you know, trust me, these are seriously dangerous creatures, including pudding. We're just adding them to the target list here. I think I just run it and we'll get to the next thing. Okay, here we are at Give Magic. I got 5 args sent into it. There it is right there. So we're going to, I heard my name. Yeah, that was you, Pudding. We were talking about, that was the code we were in before. Right here. You're in the code. You're famous, Pudding. You're famous. Okay. So we got 5 arguments. That's all good. We do not have a null target. So we do have, what's the target here? Yep. It's got the 3 creatures in it that we set up already. There's Pudding. Pudding is this guy right here. Okay. And the magic item name is equal to change property. We're initializing the data. And data 1 is equal to 30. Data 2 is equal to -10. Data 3 is equal to 1 round end of turn. And the rest are all null. Lego special creature. Wait, puddings can be freaking evil, says Coding Gorilla. My experience with evil characters is terrible. I don't really get to do a lot of evil stuff. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now we're going into Give Magic. So we're going to create a new one. We've got a spell item name, which is change property, and the spell name is Ray of Frost. So this is feeling good to me so far. New magic is in here. We got these pieces. The data is being set up. There's our data. At some point, we're calling a... D&D alarm was no. The create alarm from now, time span. Yeah. I get that. All right, let's see if we can get out... let's see if we can get to this line of code instead. Let's get out of here. So we're trying to set the alarm early, but the time span is essentially 0. Because the duration has not been set yet. So let's do this. I think we need to change this. I think we can fix this. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to say, hey, if is null or white space on the duration, if it's got a null duration, then we want to set that, or an empty or null or white space duration, then we want to set that equal to something, and the something we're going to have to get from the data parameters. But I think magic item has a property called parameters. It does. So what we can do is search through this, look for duration, find out what the index is, then go grab it from our datas. Which now I'm like, oh geez, these should be in arrays, set of arrays, because it's so much easier to grab it from an array, right? Let's consider doing that, changing these to arrays. That'll require a restart. If we do it, are they really only used in these spots here? Yeah, that code will simplify too. it's as if we only need them inside. I don't even think we need them outside of the class. All right, so let's do this. Oops, object array. This goes over here. I think syntax is this, as I recall. Is that right? I thought that's how I would do it. Declare. Do I have to do a new right there? Is that what I'm missing? That's it. Okay. There we go. New object. There you go. Coding Gorilla. Always have my back, Coding Gorilla.
He's awesome!
True. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. Appreciate that. Okay. So now there's my data there. Now that gives me... call these args, is what I want to call these. Set that to 8. Okay, so there's my data, and now I'm about to rename it to args, but I guess I don't need to so much. Let's come in here. Now we're going to say, get a for loop here for num args, like that, and then we're going to say add argument, args, data of I. Better. I like it when I say better, by the way. I'm like, okay, that's good. So there's the data there. We need to assign it here. And I guess we could do this. Let's use CodeRush's duplicate line to solve this for us, because it can do stuff like this. Right, sweet. That's not too hard to fix. Is that all? Did we fix our data problem? I think we might have. I'm going to rename this to args. Like this. Sweet. Okay, so now we're back up in here. And we don't have a duration set. What I want to do is I want to go through the magic items parameters. And I want to do this as a for loop here. So I've got an indexer here. Like that. So we're going to go through each one of those. We're going to grab magic parameters of I. Like this. And we're going to say, hey, if the parameter is equal to this piece we typed in over here, right? Duration with a $sign. If that parameter is equal to $sign duration, then magic item duration is equal to args let's see. I think it's of the same index. And hold on. Why am I not seeing args here? Well, it's just a type problem, I bet, isn't it? Yeah. So we just have to cast it to a string. Like that. And then we want to break. And I think that'll fix it. I think I have to restart it because I, totally radically changed this class. Let's run it. See how that works. Hey, Mr. Smoopy. Greetings. Mr. Smoopy, what kinds of things do you like? Do you want to be in your fanfare? What are you a fan of? that you should, what kinds of inspiring things can inspire us for creating your fanfare? That's my question to you. Because we've been hanging out a lot with Mr. Spoopy lately, and I think he deserves a fanfare, kids, for when he comes in. Let us know. Think about it. What would you like to see? What are you a fan of? Okay. Initializing player data. Not using JavaScript. That's pudding. Use MATLAB, really? I've always looked at MATLAB like, oh, that looks cool. Never really had a need to do it. Cody Gorilla says turtles. Hides in shame. No need to hide in shame. Is it turtles a suggestion for Mr. Smoopy? All right, let's come over here. Code, Ray of Frost. That's what we're looking for right there. Seeing that one fired off. Let's fire it. Google Smoopy, find turtles. Let me close it. Okay. So here, just gonna hit run. Found beds. Okay. So here we go. Getting all this, coming down to give magic here. Set a breakpoint here. Let's go in here. Somehow that worked. I thought I was, hold on, I want to go back and do it again. We're going to set 2 alarms by doing this, I think. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to hit this line of code right here. Let's run it. What? No! Whoa, whoa, whoa! How did duration get set to 1 round end of turn? Oh, it was from the first time we hit it. All right, let's change this. Oops, my mistake. Okay, come back up here. Now run. There we go. There's the hit I was looking for. So now we found it. We found the mapping there. We know the duration is now this. Now we've set it here. And it only makes sense to set the alarm if this is greater, if this has something at all. Is there some check? Has value. And what is it? Returns true if the duration is known and has a positive finite value. Sweet. That's how we're going to do that. Okay, cool. So good. I'm not going to set a second alarm, actually, I think. Instead of executing this line of code, I'm just going to come down here. So we don't have 2 alarms. Okay. So now we've created the magic. What's happening here? This is add property mod being called. That's being called from here. Property name amount are the 2 things we're expecting to come in here. So property name is, we're off. The args are what? 30 and negative 10. Last man says, thanks for the help the other day. Could solve my problem in a better way thanks to it. Oh, good. Good. You know, I'm dubiously skeptical about the value, you know, that I provide in terms of, in this regard. I think I'm kind of more here, kind of like watch the train wreck, you know, watch the train wreck. That's my service to the world. But no, good to hear that. You know, every once in a while, I think we luck out. Somebody asks me a question I can help out with. You know, although I'm really good at design. You want to get some good, high quality advice. Ask me design related questions. That stuff I seem to be uniquely qualified for. But good, glad to hear that, last Matt. Really good. Copperbeardy's trying to hide. I don't get this. I want to look at my call stack, see what's going on there. Why am I passing in 2 args for add property mod? I'm expecting the property name to be the first one, and it's clearly not. We're passing in 30 here for some reason. So I'm a little bit worried about that. You can see right here, we got the part of the problem is already there in the call stack. It's there. It's all the way down to here in the call stack. It's there. Looks like it's around here. Inject parameters. Our problem occurred here. Property name, amount. Inject, what's the argument list? Property name didn't show up in the argument list. $30 did though. Okay, so our get argument list is not good. And it's our args of 0 is the problem. It's equal to data 1. Somehow data 1 came in as 30. So right here in our constructor to magic, data 1 was passed in as a 30. Do I have that new magic in here? Data 1 is 30. Give magic. Args of 2. Args of 2 is walking speed. How did args of 2 change? Data 1 is clearly a 30 if I hover over it here. Let's come back. I can't really come back up here. I got to kind of get out. Let's come and get out to here. Let's go figure out how data 1 changed. Live Coders Conference, your design talk was eye-opening. Good last Matt. How many streams are you watching? Copperbeardy 3. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Get several up. What do we got? 30. Args of 2. Oh, I know what it is. It's because it's not in quotes. And we're calling expressions.get on it. We're evaluating walking speed. That's what we're doing. Okay, what's args of 3? Minus 10. Yeah, my change property was okay, but my walking speed had to be in quotes. That's my problem. Which is not here, it's over in my code. All right, let's run the code. Let's fix the code. Let's fix the code. Walking speed needs to be in quotes. I should have done that.
That's the hit.
And I almost think change property should be in quotes as well. Yeah, I'm going to do it. A little more work in our code, but I like it better. We'll make those 2 changes. I think we've got our breakpoints in the right spots. Let's fire the event off. We usually watch 2 or 3 at a time, but I focus on Code Rush because this code is the most fascinating. Oh, thank you. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't have a really good, strong sense of what's going on with the code, although it feels a little colder in here now. All right, with that breakpoint, we're going to blaze past that one. Now we're going to come down in here. Here, the magic item name. This is now in quotes, and I think I want to get rid of those quotes. That's what I want to do. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say expressions.get stir on this. I think I'm just going to do that, and that should strip the quotes away. Magic item name. Good. Change property and it's a string. And Now down here, data 1 should now be args2 is walking speed in quotes, good. So now data 1 is a string walking speed, good, good, good. So now we're going to go into give magic. That's all good. And what is this? Non-static method requires a target. Is player null? Player's null. Okay. How do we get player to be null and get value? Let's go bring up the call stack, work our way back. Evaluate expression is walking speed. Here's the problem, I think. The player is null coming in here. To get string call, got to pass that player in. We got an architectural problem. The architectural problem is that our property modification engine is inside of creature, which is an ancestor class to player, or character in this case is what we're calling it. Character is the descendant, and we're using character all over the place in these get calls. This is like a big deal, is what this is. Because it's a lot of lines of code that need to be changed to change this class from character to creature, I believe. That's one of the things we're going to have to do. Where else are we? Let's go look at the problem here. Get value. Why are we calling get value here along this? Because we're trying to see what its value is. What is something I don't need to worry about? Something going on code? Code rush is center screen. Oh, you're talking about how you're watching the different streams. I got it. Okay. Yeah, I only have 2 screens. Okay, hold on. I could actually fix this. I could fix this here. Because add property mod, we're trying to evaluate this expression, walking speed, passing in a player. I really don't maybe need to go through and change all this yet. This is going to be null here too. That's going to be null. Yeah, this is, at this point, args0 is a string. All right, let's do this. I'm going to change this up a bit. I'm not going to go do a massive architectural change here just yet. But if it's a string, then I'm going to say property name is equal to args of 0. And all I'm doing is preventing the, I'm limiting myself. I can't pass something in that was going to be evaluated as a string because I'm just expecting to specify that only that name is the property name we're going to modify. I think that's going to solve that problem right there. Let's run it again. Okay, initializing player data. Okay, switching over here. So again, there's the code we're executing, firing the event. Yeah, boom, that's how I end it. You be serious at the end of your dance move, guys. Boom, like that. This is why you were here, really. It's for the dancing. It's for the dancing lessons. That's what we do on this show. All right, we're skipping past that breakpoint. We're gonna fly by that breakpoint. What do we got over here? We've got give magic. We're running through this. I'm gonna run through that. I'm gonna fly through that. We're flying through that. I'm hitting that one. I'm going to fly through that. And now we've got at this point right here, we're going to just pass it on over. Good. Okay, good. Good. Add property mod. So we're going to, the property mod is there. Walking speed, the recipient ID, what's this? Recipient.id. Okay. So Merkin B, that's my character's name. Ray of Frost, change property. So that's going to be the unique ID for this bit of magic that we're adding. This is property modification. The offset should be -10, the multiplier is 1. Good. I think we're done. That's all good, I think. We should be able to, so by the way, right now, we should be able to go into creature's walking speed. Let's see if this works here. Let's go add that as a watch. And let's close down a call stack. All right, so let's get the walking speed property up here. Walking speed, there. It's 20. Well, it's because we already have the mod up here, so we're probably not going to actually see a change. What if I changed it to, say, 40? Okay, cool. So what that did is it should have changed, that action should have changed our base walking speed to 50. And if it did, that proves that the other -10 mod is in existence. So let's look at that. Base walking speed. What? That's weird. Oh, no, wait. It's pudding. I forgot. I thought this was a regular creature. We're going to go set it back to 20. My bad. Pudding is the creature's name, and the pudding's walking speed is, in fact, 20. But watch what happens when we add this mod. I think it's going to go down to -10. Let's do it. I'm going to hit F10. There you go. That's proof that it works right there. Now we just have to worry about cleanup. Is cleanup happening correctly after this expires? I don't know. This is the second one we're coming in here for, and maybe a third one. I think we have other creatures that are coming in here. Oh yeah, here's Mark. So now Mark's got a walking speed of 50. And now it drops to 40 when we add the mod to it. Okay? So at least we know the forward direction part, that code is working. There's the roll. Frost always looks better on a darker background, I find. That was not pudding. Okay. Well, you can only fling pudding, guys. Here's where the third hides. You know what? I got something for this chat room.
The chat room is on fire!
Although totally empty here. There's one right over there. There's a chat entry right over there. Which other stream are you in? Probably a good time for a disclaimer.
Disclaimer! Mark doesn't know what he's doing!
think it's time to.
Maybe it's time to get back to some coding.
All right, fine. Let's get back to some coding, kids. All right, let's go to our checklist. So the cool thing is we just kind of refactored this and we made it way more general purpose. So instead of having to create a new one for reducing speed and doing and specifying the turn, what the duration is, instead now we can pass that duration in, and we have flexibility in how and which parameter number we want to pass it to. So this is what we declare here in our magic. So far only one. We call it by calling give magic, and then we specify the name of the magic there, and then the other optional parameters to that magic. So this change property gets us to, here, let's get these both on screen at the same time. That change property gets us to call this one, and then walking speed, this maps to my property name right there. 10 is the amount right there, and 1 round end of turn is my duration. So that's that. The on received, we're triggering this already. We're calling add property mod. We stepped through that code. We don't have an on expire yet. Let's go make on expire work, I think. If it's, at least I don't think we have it working yet. Let's go get some magic. Trigger on received. So there's what we did there. The trigger on received is working, and that happens when we call receive magic. Good. Last minute says I can still tag you over there. But he says don't fall for it. The kick is a lie. Don't fall for it. But the kick looks so good. I don't think the kick is a lie. All right, I want to move that around. One of these days I'll remember the commands here. I think it's FB is what it is. Test FB. That was it. And then you can pass it an optional color like 160 hue shift to it. And that just changes one of them. I don't know if you can send 2 different hue shifts to it or not, though. No, just one. That's all you get. How you feeling, Caraman Chikati?
I'm fine.
You look like you're barely okay. She's not slept in 2 days, kids.
I'm not gonna make it here.
I know you're like, I'm gonna go make appearance. Yeah,
This is what my hair looks like.
it's not bad.
It's not good.
Yeah,
My face is a little red.
yeah.
I'm fine.
You still in pain, or are you better?
No, I'm not. I'm not well.
Not well, but compared to yesterday, you're
Compared to yesterday,
better.
I'm
Just
awesome.
totally sleep deprived.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cover Beardy says, "Hey, how you doing?" Codebase Alva says, "You feeling any better today?" She's feeling a little bit better.
yeah, I'm gonna be human by like Monday.
Yeah, human by Monday.
Human by Monday.
Yeah, she has not slept in 2 days. That's right. She's wandering through the house right now, and she's like, "Why am I here in this room?" That's what she's saying. Baby, get some sleep. Okay, so I'm just looking at simplifying this and looking at the code here because we're going to need several triggers here. I'm gonna refactor this. We're gonna refactor the heck out of that. Trigger on received is called from creature. We're externally doing it. Okay. I almost feel like this is too much intimate knowledge of magic here. These three calls, these three pieces here. Well, that one is, this is kind of connecting the two. Add target and trigger on received. All right, I'm going to maybe leave it alone for now. We need to dispel it at some point in time. Magic dispel, when it's dispelled, it's going to call us here. It's not quite the same thing. We need, I think we need to take it to the next step. It's the piece I was talking about at the beginning of the show. This spell name, I think we need to turn this into a spell. And maybe a casted spell, which is a wrapper for a spell. Casted spell is what's passed in, what we have here. At this point, gosh, I'm thinking, let's change it to a casted spell. Let's look at the difference between the two. Casted spell wraps a spell, and the only difference is that a spell is kind of an immutable instance that's alive for the entire game, but a casted spell wraps around that immutable part and adds onto it the pieces that change depending on who casts it. So if I cast Ray of Frost and another player casts Ray of Frost, or I cast Ray of Frost a second time, those are all different instances, like 3 different instances of casted spell wrapped around a single reference or holding a single reference to the spell Ray of Frost. So that's what's going on here. And I just want to see what's going on here. Do we have some triggering stuff here? Not really. We've got a few calls that trigger, that go down and trigger the low-level pieces. I think I'm going to pass it in, the casted spell in. That's what I think I'm going to do. So let's say casted spell there. And instead, we're going to pass it in here, in give magic. So give magic is now going to require, instead of a spell name, a casted spell. Whoops. Whoops. Let's get the spelled correctly. There we go. Right there. Kobe Salva, what kind of pizza? I need to know that too. Chicken something or other. All right. I'm a pork fan. I generally am like a pork and red sauce fan, although I've stopped eating dairy, which I wasn't so happy about it. It was like kind of a staple for me for my whole life. But I have had much less congestion since I stopped. So I'm like, all right, I like breathing. So, but yeah, yesterday I made 6 packages of bacon. Hashtag, keto lifestyle. Yeah, that was the most I've ever cooked, I think, in one setting. Probably 6 pounds of bacon. 3 of the packages were fewer than, less than a pound. I don't even know what the kilo transition is, but a lot of bacon I made. Ended up with like 2 boxes of it, like this big, 2 Tupperware boxes, containers of it. Okay, let's keep going here. Casted spell, new magic. Here we go right here. Rename this casted spell. Let's kind of simplify this. Casted spell dot spell dot name. There it is right there. Let's kind of do that, I suppose. Any problems with, ooh, I do have a problem there. So I have to do this. If the spell name is going to fall into that category, then we're going to say unknown spell or something, no spell name. Like that. Your wife's allergic to dairy. Yeah, I don't think I'm allergic too much. Well, I guess maybe I am, I suppose, if you say your congestion is connected to it. You want to do math that floor? Hey, you want to hear a funny story? I'm on one of my first dates with Karen Mangicotti, and I made her some pizza. As I go to take it out of the oven, it slides off the pan onto the floor. And I look at it. She's staring there looking at it as well. And I pick it up and I'm like, we could recover because I've been to survival training. I know how to eat food. They taught us how to eat food that falls on the floor. You pick it up and put it in your mouth. And so anyway, she was like, like that. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll save this for later. So that's my pizza story. Couldn't live without cheese and butter. Yeah, Coding Gorilla. I used to eat about a half a stick of butter every day. That was as recently as a couple months ago when I stopped eating cheese. So dairy and cheese. Yeah. The bacon diet. Yeah, Codebase Alpha. Yeah, bacon is awesome for a snack. It's really good. I also burn a lot of carbs during the day, so I'm like, I need to be fueling myself kind of frequently. And so the bacon is a perfect snack for me. I love pineapple pizza. Pineapple pizza was tasty too, but no cheese and I can't have a lot of fruit either. Okay, so anyway, we've got it coming here. Now we've got this spell. And now what I should be able to do is hook into that spell's onto spell. Let's try and see if we can get that to work. Spell dot onto spell. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. If that's not null, then I want to come in and say, in fact, maybe I'll come in here and introduce a local for it. Call it spell, and then so spell is not null. Then what I want to do is I want to check to see, hey, does this spell require concentration? And requires concentration. Then I want to say, hey, spell dot onto spell. I may be wrong about what I may be wrong about what I said. I think what I painstakingly went to describe to you about the spells being single instances, I think that's incorrect because this onto spell is only for this instance. I'm pretty sure we create a new one because it has to work that way. At any rate, when that spell is dispelled, I want to, what's going on here? Oh, it's a string. I need to actually, I want an event on it for when that is, all right, hold on. Trigger dispel. Casted spell. It's got a call to dispel. We may be able to work through casted spell. Hold on a second. Let me just see where trigger dispel is called from. Only in this spot. Perfect. Okay, so here, what I want is to create a new event on dispel in here. And I think it just be a simple event here. We'll call it on dispel, like this. And let's create an event trigger for that. So we'll use CodeRush to build that for us. And I'm going to take that and move it down here. Put it right here. And we're going to call on dispel from here. Not sure when we should call it. This EAE for event args empty. and then that's going to call the event. Now, what that means then is down over in Magic, when we hook up, we actually only need to see if casted spell is not null. Well, we do need to go into the spell as well. Hold on. But it looks like this. The spell is not null. The spell requires, then we're going to go to casted spell on dispel. We're going to do a plus equals here. And now we've got our dispel. So the requires concentration is good. Because otherwise, if it doesn't require concentration, then and we cast a spell and it's got a duration, it just lasts, and so does the magic. So good. So that's when we'll hook up there. We want a breakpoint here. Ray of Frost does not require concentration. So I'm expecting to not get here, but I still want to step through this code. Let's run it. Then we got to find something that does have required concentration. Oh, I know. There's a spell called Enhance Ability. That requires concentration. All right, initializing player data. Enhance ability. Duration goes up to 1 hour, requires concentration, and you can tell by the little icon that looks like kind of an eye in the kind of two kind of half circles there, up at the top to the right of the word enhanceability, near to the left of where my mouse cursor is. That requires concentration. You can see over here to the left of the mouse cursor, it says duration up to 1 hour. So this is what we need this for. So that when this is we're no longer concentrating on it, the magic is no longer there. I think, let's go find enhance ability. Give magic. How was I doing it before? Oh, I did select target before. I said var target equals, oops. Equals select target. And then we're going to say give magic to target. And the magic I want to give I think I need a new piece of magic here. Here, let's get rid of the stuff on the screen. And I think it's going to be give vantage. Nope. Nope, I'm not going to do that, Coding Gorilla. I'm not going to market this after it's done. I could be the Nick Epic Games. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We are dog fooding Code Rush is what we're doing. And so the source is out there, open source. There's nothing that's going that we're going to market. We are doing it over on the show. So if you're, if you were in the United States or possibly left of the United States, west of the United States, you could. It would not be like 1 a.m. your time when we do this show. You can see that show live, but we do all the special effects there. So we're using it there on that show. So it's getting some use, but that's it. I'm no intention of monetizing this in any way. All right, so give vantage. Maybe I'll call it just give advantage. And then I'll have another one called give disadvantage. So I want to give advantage. Still hoping for Central Europe friendly D&D. Hey, thanks, Lassamat, for reminding us on that. We were talking about it, but we made no decisions yet. Something we're talking about though, because obviously it would be great to have Central Europe, Western Europe, maybe even some Eastern Europe folks tuning in as well. Yeah, friendly in terms of time. That's exactly what he's talking about, Coding Gorilla. All right, so I want to give advantage, and I want to give it to, well, what kinds of roles are there? I guess we would call it role type. Would be here. Role type. Is that the only thing I need? Role type, maybe not. Detail. I think I'm going to call it detail down here as the second parameter. Like that. And so role type might be an attack, in which case detail will be optional. But role type could also be skill check, in which case detail might be arcana check or an athletics check. That's what's going on there. So I want to do that. On received, I want to call... You want to call advantage mod. So it's a new kind of mod. And I'm going to pass in these same parameters. And a +1. And on expire, we're going to call remove property mod as well. Let's give advantage, and that means we could create a give disadvantage like that, and it would look just like this. So that takes care of most of the changes that are in enhanceability. Here, let's go bring it up one more time. I'm going to do that. What do I have to do? Bring that up. There it is. So when you see like Bear's Endurance to the left of the mouse cursor, the target has advantage on constitution checks. That lasts for a duration of an hour or until concentration is broken. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the other parts of the engine to come in till the magic it's no longer effective. So target has advantage, full strength, target has advantage on strength checks, target has advantage on dexterity checks, advantage on charisma, intelligence, and wisdom. Few other modifications to these other pieces here as well, but we can handle those in another way. Okay, so back over. You can always watch the VOD. It's not as funny. Also, you don't get to participate as much in it, right? Part of what makes the show so funny is viewer participation, chat room participation. Makes it really funny. Last man's got to go to work. I just keep hanging out, and one day there will be a special stream or something. Hopefully. Okay, so enhanceability. I think also I need to ask a question. Now, if we go over to my spells and go to Milf's Minute Meteors, we've got this kind of line of code here. And this line of code asks a question. And I think we want to add that into the casting of enhanceability. So I think we need something up here. And it's going to be, so we're going to call set. We're going to create a special field variable that's going to be stored in the character. And we're going to call this field variable ability to enhance. And then we're going to say enhance which not sure what to call this here. Hold on a second. Let's bring the spell up in a browser here. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. Okay. Choose one of the following effects. So I'll say which effect, and my choices are these. I've got Bear's Endurance, Bull's Strength, Cat's Grace, this window needs a dark theme. I was hoping you weren't going to say that. We need 3 more. This is where CodeRush's duplicate selection would be awesome. 1, 2, 3. So Eagle Splendor is next. That's got to be number 3. 3. Eagle Splendor. 4. I'll number these right now. 5. Fox's Cunning. Also, markers, Coder's markers would make this much faster too. And then Owl's Wisdom. So that's going to let us, we're going to make that choice which effect that UI is going to come up. That's going to set it to a new custom state variable that's going to be added to the character called Ability to Enhance. And then later on cast, here we go. We want to pass in that ability to enhance. And we're just going to call get on that like that. So that's not, that's a, wait, that's a little later. I almost want to do this. Var effect is equal to that. So that's going to get it there. Then we're going to go call give magic, name of the magic item to give. And no. I want to actually do a switch on this. I think I want to do, is what I want to do. Can I do a switch in the engine? It looks like maybe I can. Let's go see if the expression engine supports it. Looks like it does not support it, so we got to do an if-else kind of thing is what we need to do here. Let's go grab the code from here, at least get all of these strings. And come back up over here. Because what we give, the magic we give depends on the effect. So what I want to do is I want to say, well, if effect is equal to Bear's Endurance, then I'm going to do one thing. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going down here. So Bull Strength is the next one. Cat's Grace is next. Bear's endurance, full strength. Cat's grace. Eagle's splendor. Fox's cunning. And finally, Owl's wisdom. Nice. That was that code the template we added, the B template. Right? Just hit the letter B on an empty line, it gives us braces. So cool. We could, for now, by the way, just to check this out, we could do something like this. Well, let's do this actually. Wait, we can do this actually even better. We can say float player text and pass it the effect. Like that. Okay, so there's our variable effect right up there. It's going to get that. So at the very least, when we get to on cast, we should see the player text come up. It'll probably come up at about the same time as the other one, so they may be overlapped. Let's see what happens when we fire the event. All right, so here's the UI that appears. Which effect? Let's choose Eagle Splendor. Enhance ability comes up. That's from the call. Let's run it. Uh-oh. Type int and string. Where am I in the call stack? Where is effect equal to 3? Oh, I know why. I know why. Okay. All right, let's just run it. Hopefully we've got an exception. Oh no, it killed it. So hopefully we got a try catch around that. Effect is not the string, it's the number. Effect is not the string, it's the number. So let's initialize player data. We'll fix that. The fire satisfying, says Last Matt. Well, that's good. Maybe we should add more of that. Give you guys more control. Jay Hurdlow's out there. I didn't see you, Jay Hurdlow. Dessert pizza is good. Glad to have you with us. All right, let's go look at the code for enhanceability. All right, that was my bad. Here. So when this question comes up, sorry, this question comes up, ability to enhance is set to the number we put at the beginning here. That's what it's being set to. So our over here, what we want to do is we want to say 0 here. And then let's come in here, create something new, var effect name, set it equal to no effect known or something like that. Selected. You'll probably never see this, but in case we do. And then down here, I want to say effect name, like that. Fill these in. Owl's wisdom comes down here. Fox's cunning comes here. Eagle's splendor comes here. And then we have to replace these with numbers all the way up here, all the way down here. So this is going to be 1. It's going to be 2. going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to float player text. It's going to pass in the effect name. All right, let's run that. Fire the event. Choose Eagle Splendor again. Okay, I'm going to run it. Uh-oh. Looks like I got a closing paren missing from the code. Let's see. Put a breakpoint here. Run. Run. All right, we need to put this in a try catch right here. Probably both of these. Put in a try catch here so we don't get out of here. System debugger SDDB is the template I created there. System diagnostics debugger break. All right, one more time. More fire, says last Matt. All right. Yeah, no worries. I've got a whole bunch of them in here. We just haven't hooked them in up so that you can get access to them. It's not hard to do. All right. Enhance ability. Let's cast the spell. We'll do bold strength this time. Oh, I forgot to check the code. But now at least our try catch should catch us. Whoa, how did you not catch us? I put the try catch in the call stack. Didn't I? I'm not sure if I should investigate why the try catch, why I didn't catch the exception. If I should just fix the code. Let's look at the code first. See what my problem is with the code. No, Coding Gorilla, it's awesome when you close a scroll. I just forget to do it. Oh, here's my problem with Give Magic down here. I think that's my problem. Everything else I think is... Oh no, there's my problem too. It's that. Oh geez, did I really blow this that badly? All right, what's number 5? 5 is Owl's Wisdom. Fox's Cunning, Owl's Wisdom. Fox's Cunning is the one I'm missing, which is 4. Looks like I just totally blew this. Oh no, we're good. That's right. Okay, Fox's Cunning. Okay. Code looks better. Fire the event. Alright, let's do Fox's Cunning. Okay, running past that. Still a problem. Variable effect name is unknown in expression. I would disagree. Let's jump out of here. Let's jump out of here. That should handle it. Why are we dying? We're calling on exception thrown, and did we die here? Oh no, we don't. We're running. Sorry. That's what I was expecting happening in other places. Right here, variable effect name unknown in expression effect name. Go back and look at it. it doesn't support scopes. I don't understand. Effect name's totally known. What do I have to do? Not quite what I wanted to do. I thought there was a syntax where I could type in var. Here we go. Oh, no, maybe not. That's not what I'm looking for. Wait, here we go. Finally, it's like only got to scroll down right up to the end. You guys okay? Okay, I'm going to stop the show here, kids. We will talk to you later.